Please welcome Shawn Osborne and Samantha McDonald.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. As I was introduced, I'm Samantha McDonald, the digital news editor here at FN. And we have with us today a very esteemed guest, Shawn Osborne, who stepped into his role as president and CEO of 210 Footwear Foundation this year. With me as your host, we're going to launch into a critical topic right now. We've called this discussion, It Took a Pandemic, the importance of a financial safety net for footwear employees. It's a big subject, right, Shawn?
Absolutely. As far as adapting to the COVID-19 circumstances that we've been presented with, there were a lot of people in the industry when I got here that talked about 210 trying to do too much for too many people. And candidly, the pandemic forced our organization to focus on our core mission, our core program, our crisis and relief fund. And over the last 4 months that we've been dealing with it, we have really focused on bringing in new technology and streamlining our process so that we could handle the tenfold increase in applications that we see in order to keep food on the table and a roof over the head for footwear employees. We started to see the substantial increase in applications as a result of the COVID-19. And since that time, over the last 4 months, we've received about 6,600 applications. We've given out about 4,300 grants for about $2.6 million. Going into the new year, which started July 1st, we've budgeted about $3.2 million to continue to deal with the ongoing effects of the pandemic. When we look at the fact that the ripple effect or the aftermath of the pandemic, when, let's say, unemployment checks end or the bill deferments, they become due, we think that the need could be as high as $5 to $10 million. So it's been really unprecedented for the organization. The number of grantees is actually 72% female right now, and the majority of them are actually a person of color. Most of them are single moms and worked in the retail space. But let me say this, that's the typical profile of someone that 210 has worked with and provided money to through the pandemic, but this pandemic has really spared no one. We have given grants to footwear employees in all 50 states and all different roles across all levels within the industry. So, sometimes it takes an event like a pandemic to help people become more aware of and understand the importance of something like a crisis and hardship relief fund. And the sense is that we're going to move from a situation where people view 210 and what we do as kind of nice to have and really a must-have program for footwear employees. In fact, we feel like when we look into the future that where we once really had an arm's length relationship and our program was administered at a distance, that we actually will be more integrated into footwear companies' employee benefits programs, and that will be more tightly aligned. So, when we look at this safety net, we think that the pandemic has obviously elevated the importance of it. In the future, it'll be more integrated into footwear companies' benefits programs. We know that when employees are concerned about their financial health, right, they bring that to work. And so when you have a financial safety net like our hardship fund, we find that they are oftentimes grateful and relieved that program is in place for them. And the benefit to employers in the long term, and there's been a lot of studies done on this, is that when they are not concerned about their next, let's say, extraordinary expense or financial shock that it could occur from, let's say, a cost that was unexpected in their household, or an automobile, or a family tragedy like a death that they would normally have to worry about. For the employer, what they see is that the employee is much more engaged and productive in the workplace when they don't have to worry about those things. I don't think there's a leader today that can run any of these companies without being concerned about culture. And when you offer a program and you partner with an organization like 210, it creates this culture of caring. And I don't think they view us as that's the role that we play today, but I think they'll view us that way in the future. And when you have that kind of culture, it will help you, acquire and retain great talent, and people will want to work there. So obviously, there's been a lot of conversations recently about, as we move beyond COVID, is there a role that an organization like 210 could play, an independent organization, in tackling even more than gender, let's say race and ethnicity, than the challenges in the industry around diversity and inclusion. And so, I think that for today, I think the work we do around our crisis and relief fund, I think the work we do around the scholarships is extremely important. But I also think there's things we could possibly do if the board decides in the future around diversity and inclusion, expanding upon what we've done in the past around women and gender diversity. But where you're an organization that provides direct services to people who have been affected by the pandemic, then we also have the situation where we've got increasing expenses. And so it really puts an undue burden on organizations like 210. But I think for the most part, we've done a good job of figuring out how we can fundraise in this environment and balance the fact that the expenses are going up. The board realizes that the future is going to be far different than the past. And they've really embraced working with the leadership team here and the staff in order to figure out, as you can see from some of the things that I've shared, what the future role that this organization is going to play in this industry. And they've been very innovative in their thinking. And so I get really excited when I start to think about the fact that we've got a really great board, we've got a great staff, and I think we've got a great opportunity to make a big difference in the future of the footwear industry.